Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to escape the break-even stage in trading. It's just going to be another sit down and talk video, me giving you guys as much sauce and as much advice as I can possibly give you. So the break-even stage basically means that you're not really losing, right? You're not like losing more than you're winning, and you're not winning more than you're losing. You're kind of stuck in this stage where nothing is really happening, right? And this is not a bad spot to be in at all. Like, being in the break-even stage is much, much better than losing, obviously. And you're really, like, when you're in the break-even stage, you are truly really close to being in, that profitable stage. So for me personally, I'm going to talk about, what it was like when I was in the break-even stage, what was keeping me there, and then how I was able to break out. So before I was even in the break-even stage, I was like taking evals for months and months on end. This was just a strategy problem. I fixed it, and from there, right, once I fixed my strategy, I kind of became a break-even trader because I was trading the right way, but there were some psychological things that were just really holding me back, because I would pass accounts and then I would start trading them, and I would trade them really well because I had the model down, right? I would start trading them well. And then when I would get close to a payout, like I would have 3 or 4 winning days on a top step account. The last day, let's just say it's a Friday and I'm one trade away. I actually need one more winning day. I would I would convince myself that like I needed to get that last winning day so I can secure the payout. And then obviously what ended up happening is I would blow the account that day, right? And this would keep me, and this happened multiple times, right? And this really did keep me in that stage of just really not being able to make it out and get that payout, right? I wasn't losing. It's not like I was an unprofitable trader. Like, I technically was, but I had the model down. I had most of the psychology things down. It was just when it came to that last day where I needed one more winning day, I would get in my head about it, and I would I would not trade correctly. So I think it took me roughly like 5 to 10 tries of when I'm on Express. Like, that happened probably like 5 to 10 times where I would like get to like the last winning day and then blow it. And that's a lot of times. And then it got to a point where it's happened so many times, I realized, like, what am I doing? There's just genuinely no point. I'm screwing myself over every single time that I do this. So I simply, I was on Top Step X, so I simply just set a trade limit and a risk setting parameter, so that way on the last day, or when I needed one more winning day, I wouldn't let myself crash out and blow the account. So that really did save me. It kind of stopped me from actually blowing the account. It did not stop me from like trying, to get the last winning day, regardless if there was a setup or not. But it would stop me from blowing the account. So that was the first step, and that was the first thing I did that, that definitely helped a lot, right? But in the end of the day, it is about just staying patient for your setup, and I was not doing that. Whenever I needed one more winning day, I was just going for it no matter what. And it just kept me like, because I would still lose. Like, every time I do it, I would lose a lot of money, and it's just an unnecessary loss, and it would happen a lot. So I realized, like, it is about time that I fix my habits, right? Truly, if I want to be consistent and I want to be able to do this long term and be profitable long term, I need to fix my habits. I don't care, because anybody can get a payout. Anybody can even make 5K, right? Anyone can do that. But what differentiates profitability and non-profitability is being able to do that over a long span of time. And the only way to do that is by having the correct habits in place, right? So, like, in trading, like, there's really two things. It's just your strategy and your psychology. If I'm being honest, if I had to choose one to really master, it would be psychology. Because yes, like, your strategy truly does matter a lot, and it's what's going to end up making you money, but you won't be able to sustain this long term if your psychology is cooked. When on the other hand, if you do have really good psychology, but your strategy is not as good, and you're not really as good with the mechanics, right? You're going to be maybe losing more at first, but over time, you'll start to understand the strategy better, and you'll start to trade better, but you'll actually have the correct psychology in place to keep you there long term, right? So for me personally, I had the strategy down. I just did not have the psychology down. Even now, my psychology is much worse than my technicals are. Obviously, I'm profitable, so like my psychology is a lot better. I'm not really crashing out, but it's just like still I'm always trying to improve my psychology because that's what's going to keep me here long term. But to get out of the break even stage, you have to fix your psychology. It's truly the only way you're going to be able to do it because you can have an 85% win rate, but if your psychology is cooked, that win rate is going to be tanked. That's what happened to me. So make sure your habits are in place and that your psychology is good. Best way to do this is by just like creating good habits. If you haven't read this book, Atomic Habits, I would recommend reading it. As also, I made a video about a dopamine detox that is also extremely helpful. Just doing these things to like kind of build good habits in your outside life will also start to build these good habits inside of your trading, right? Because your dopamine is going to be a little bit switched now because instead of craving dopamine or instead of wanting to do high dopamine activities, you're going to more crave to do low dopamine activities, which overall obviously improve you as a person, right? So for me also, by the way, like there were months or weeks where I would make 5K in a week, right, from payouts. This is like a while ago. This is like May. Okay, this is around May. I would have good weeks, but the next week I would blow all that money on funded accounts because as soon as I got the payout, my psychology was just like, all right, boom, I'm chilling, and then the very next week I'd blow those accounts, try to get more, and waste a ton of money on it. And it was a bad cycle. It kept me like in the break even stage for like a month. And the way that I broke out of that phase was by understanding that I need to just stop spending money on prop firms and trade and spend my money super, super cautiously. Because like if we're gonna talk more about actual like money with trading, like I was break even because I would get a big payout and then I would just like spend it all carelessly on evaluations. So in that case, if you're in that situation, you need to realize that the only way to fix it is by caring more about your money, caring more about spending your money, being more cautious, all these things. It's gonna save you because you might think, oh, 5K payout, okay, I can go spend freely on accounts, I can go spend freely on other bullshit. Like, no, you gotta be really cautious at first and do not start trading evals aggressively until you are extremely profitable and actually have a lot of money in the bank. But that is more of like a technical with being in the break even. I do think it matters a lot though. But what matters the most is obviously like having the habits in place to just not even need to go blowing accounts and having to spend more on evals. Like just having the habits in place to not even be doing that in the first place. That's what's truly important. So you kind of have to go to the root of things and fix it from base one. Fix your habits outside of trading, and like I said, it'll implement itself right into trading. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. I tried doing this one with the mic because I low-key spent a lot of money on like this mic, so hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's actually worth it. It also means I don't have to speak as loudly because I could just speak into the mic like this, and I don't even have to speak loudly, so it's easier on my voice. But anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. If you want to work with me one-on-one or join my free community, both links are in the description. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.